One Sunday evening in the club Manitou, where sometimes for music I go, I spied a young man out on the dance floor. He was really the star of the show. He had so many partners he couldn't keep up. He often took two at a time. The old ones, the young ones, the smart ones, the dumb ones, he had them all standing in line. Well, in between dances, he'd go round the tables to flirt with the girls that were there. He'd linger for a moment and then he was gone. For their feelings he just didn't care. A tender young maiden, the age of 16, admired him long from afar. She thought she could claim him, she thought she could tame him. You know how those young people are. Well, as she approached him, she lost all reserve, got shamelessly down on one knee, said, I know that you're busy, my handsome young man, but please could you find time for me? He nodded his head, by the hand he was led to the floor where they were to dance. But a raven-haired beauty slipped him some lettuce. I knew then there wasn't a chance. For she wanted to dance, but he just ate lettuce and aimlessly walked round the floor. She wanted to dance, but he just ate lettuce, went back to the table for more. She handled it bravely, she finished the dance by herself on the floor all alone. But she couldn't hide the pain in her eyes, and that's why I sing you this song. Well, I could have told her it wouldn't work out, their ages were different, you know. She was too trusting, and it was disgusting to see how he treated her so. For she wanted to dance, and he just ate lettuce and aimlessly walked round the floor. She wanted to dance, and he just ate lettuce, went back to the table for more. So all you young maidens, the age of 16, please stick with the boys in your school. Stay away from the young men whose ages are different. 2-year-olds can really be cruel. For she wanted to dance, but he just ate lettuce and aimlessly walked around the floor. She wanted to dance, and he just ate lettuce, went back to the table for more. Everybody sing! For she wanted to dance, and he just ate lettuce and aimlessly walked around the floor. She wanted to dance, and he just ate lettuce, went back to the table for more. First come down to the paper mill town, the weather was 15 below. In the gold front bar was the paper mill crew, where I met all the people I would know. I met a young man and I asked him, say, what are the summers like here? Said he, I can't say, I worked overtime that day, and I've only lived here 1 year. So I signed on for the season, and here is the song that I sing. For 23 years, I've been working right here, expecting to quit in the spring. But the sun never shines in the paper mill. The work and the pay's mighty fair. But the hours that we keep and the people you meet, hey Lord, it's a jungle in there. Friday night in the paper mill, the time is 10:15. Well, I've seen grown men cry when the boss comes on by, says your relief is not coming in. I went to punch out at the time clock, but a man, he was there in my way. Well, I looked up to see, and Lord, it was me punching in for the following day. For the sun never shines in the paper mill. The work and the pay's mighty fair. But the hours that we keep and the people we meet, hey Lord, it's a jungle in there. Some doctors come down from Traverse City town. They said that our plant would do fine. They said they would try it, they wanted to buy it, and all they would change is the sign. So if you come down to the paper mill town on the river as your boat passes by, please look up and see my colleagues and me. We'll be working just to keep your baby dry. For the sun never shines in the paper mill. The work and the pay's mighty fair. But the hours that we keep and the people we meet, hey Lord, it's a jungle in there. Asked my boss for a week or two off. My uncle was passing away. Said he, I must deny, and you know, when you die, well, we only give you 3 days. I said, when I die, don't bury me. Don't send me to hell or to heaven. Have the paper mill folk grind me up with the broke and pump me into chest number 7. And when I've been made into paper, just ship me all over this land. For the companies come and the companies go, but the paper mill forever will stand. And the sun never shines in the paper mill. The work and the pay's mighty fair. And the hours that we keep and the people we meet, hey Lord, it's a jungle in there. Long time ago, so the old timers say, the railroad pulled out of here with 7 trains a day. 7 trains all loaded down with timber, fish, and ore. But the D&M don't come here no more. Now the D&M don't come here no more. The D&M don't come here no more. The timber is gone, the fishing has run down. The paper mill is closed, all my friends are leaving town. And the D&M don't come here no more. On the banks of the river, the paper mill has stood for 100 years and more, making paper from the wood, making babies' diapers, shipping products near and far. But we come down from 7 trains down to 7 cars. Now 7 cars a day will not pay the freight for long. And then they closed the mill down, and even that was gone. So 3 o'clock one morning, I heard a mournful sound. It was the last train of the D&M rolling out of town. Now the D&M don't come here no more. The D&M don't come here no more. The timber is gone, the fishing has run down. The paper mill is closed, all my friends are leaving town. And the D&M don't come here no more. I've heard that train roll by my house 1,000,000 times more, but never in my memory did it seem so loud before. My sleep would not return to me, I paced across the floor, and the engineer laid on that horn for 20 miles, I'm sure. Now the D&M don't come here no more. The D&M don't come here no more. The timber is gone, the fishing has run down. The paper mill is closed, all my friends are leaving town. And the D&M don't come here no more. Well, 7 months later, I was loading off some wood. I heard the train a-comin', it sounded mighty good. It sounded mighty good just to hear the train come back. But it was just a work train tearing out the track. Now the D&M don't come here no more. The D&M don't come here no more. The timber is gone, the fishing has run down. The paper mill is closed, all my friends are leaving town. And the D&M don't come here no more. When I think upon the settlers that first came to this land, they didn't have no railroads nor highways close at hand. They didn't have no paper mill, they lived upon the land. Well, if they can make it, so can I. So it's here I'll take my stand. But the D&M don't come here no more. The D&M don't come here no more. The timber is gone, the fishing has run down. The paper mill is closed, all my friends are leaving town. And the D&M don't come here no more. The national motto of the Czech people is Pravda Vitezi, the truth will prevail. These words were first spoken by a man named Jan Hus, which in English is pronounced John Huss. This man was burned at the stake for the crime of heresy in the town of Constance, Switzerland, in the year 1415. At his trial, he was not allowed to speak in his own defense. But moments before his execution, he was allowed to say a few last words. These last words are the inspiration for this song. I was brought here by deception to this strange and foreign land. I was guaranteed protection by the emperor's own hand. And when I did arrive here, you threw me into jail. But verily I say to you, the truth will prevail. We will meet before a higher judge in a year and a day. And what will be his judgment, no mortal man can say. And as I go to meet that judge, these words I leave with thee. The words I leave are Pravda Vitezi. Shall we march with General Zizka? Shall we fight until we fall? Always singing as we march against the foe. Shall we stand united, brethren, with our backs against the wall? Defeated into exile shall we go? Now some folks fight with swords, and some folks fight with words, and some fight by refusing to go along. From the year of 1415 till 1989, the fight for truth and freedom marches on. Now many were the wars were fought, and terrible the cost. In the year of 1620, the final war was lost. But a few would not surrender, united men and free. They carried truth and freedom to the lands across the sea. And as they went to exile, they shed some bitter tears. And their bitter cries of anguish still echo through the years. And everywhere their tears fell, pink roses now we find. A legacy of freedom for the people left behind. Shall we march with General Zizka? Shall we fight until we fall? Always singing as we march against the foe. Shall we stand united, brethren, with our backs against the wall? Defeated into exile shall we go? Now some folks fight with swords, and some folks fight with words, and some fight by refusing to go along. From the year of 1415 till 1989, the fight for truth and freedom marches on. For the pink rose is a wild rose, it grows without your hand. You can see it in the ditches as you travel through the land. If you put it in your garden, this rose will surely die. So leave it in the ditches with its face turned toward the sky. We will meet before a higher judge in a year and a day. And what will be his judgment, no mortal man can say. They burned him and they threw his ashes in the Bodin Sea. But the words he left are Pravda Vitezi. Shall we march with General Zizka? Shall we fight until we fall? Always singing as we march against the foe. Shall we stand united, brethren, with our backs against the wall? Defeated into exile shall we go? Now some folks fight with swords, and some folks fight with words, and some fight by refusing to go along. From the year of 1415 till 1989, the fight for truth and freedom marches on. We will march with General Zizka, we will fight until we fall, always singing as we march against the foe. We will stand united, brethren, with our backs against the wall. But we can't go into exile, there's no place left to go. In the year of 1986, on a bright and sunny day, well, we loaded up our gear and we headed down to Bliss to sing and dance and play, brave boys, to sing and dance and play. And when we reached that long-lost world and set up our camp in the sand, well, the clouds rolled in and the wind began to blow, and it rained all over the land, brave boys, it rained all over the land. Well, the rain come down in a driving squall as we we danced the night away. But me messmates and I were brave campers all. The rain couldn't drive us away, brave boys. The rain couldn't drive us away. When the morning broke and our gear was wet, I called for a meeting of me crew. Said I, we must leave this dark and stormy place. Now what be the thinking of you, brave girl? What be the thinking of you? When up jumps a camper to me left and me right, says let's not be hearing this from you. We'll just stretch out a tarp between two pickup trucks to keep us from the foggy dew, brave boys, to keep us from the foggy dew. So we shared our gear and we shared our beer. We shared us a song or two. If I hadn't had the help of me bonny messmates, I never would have seen it through, brave boys. Never would have seen it through. Well, the doctor stood up on the center stage with his remedy in his hand. Says, what more can you ask me, bonny brave lads? There's no sunburn in this land, brave boys. No sunburn in this land. Well, for 3 long days the rain poured down, but they gave us such a wonderful show that the time it went quick and we didn't want to leave. But soon it was time to go, brave boys. Soon it was time to go. Farewell, farewell, for it grieves my heart to leave this place so dear. But the brave campers call as they roll away their tents. We'll see you again next year, brave boys. See you again next year. Come ye back, brave campers, come ye back to Bliss, where they sing and dance in the sand, to the very best music and the very finest folks that ever you'll find in the land, brave boys, that ever you'll find in the land. I woke up this morning, working was on my mind. I woke up this morning, working was on my mind. I went to the Blissfest to see what kinds of work I could find. I went to the doctor to see what kinds of work I could do. I went to the doctor to see what kinds of work I could do. The doctor done told me, have I got a job for you? Take this hammer, drive them tent stakes. Take this hammer, drive them tent stakes. Take this hammer, drive them tent stakes in the rocky ground, in the rocky ground. So now I'm working at the Blissfest, I'm digging in the ground. I'm working at the Blissfest, I'm working like a hound. It's up every morning at the crack of noon, singing and a-drinking in the light of the moon. I'm working at the Blissfest, working at the Blissfest, working at the Blissfest, working on down, down, working at the Blissfest, working on down. I'm working at the Blissfest, I'm salting down the roads. I got salt in my hair, I got salt in my clothes. I'm working at the Blissfest, I'm singing the blues. I got salt in my gloves, I got salt in my shoes. I'm working at the Blissfest, working at the Blissfest, working at the Blissfest, working on down, down, working at the Blissfest, working on down. Well, the sun's so hot and the ground's so hard, I could be laying on the beach, I could be laying in my yard. And as I work, I ask myself, what am I doing here? I could be sitting in the shade, I could be sipping on a beer, but I'm working at the Blissfest, working working at the Blissfest, working at the Blissfest, working on down, down, working at the Blissfest, working on down. I'm working at the Blissfest, I'm digging in the ground. The doctor's trying to kill me, boys, he's trying to break me down. I'm working at the Blissfest, I'm digging in the dirt. I'm working at the Blissfest, my bones and muscles hurt. I'm working at the Blissfest, working at the Blissfest, working at the Blissfest, working on down, down, working at the Blissfest, working on down. But when they start the music, I'll forget about my pain. When they start the music, I'll be happy as a king. I wish they'd start the music, cause I've heard about their fame. I wish they'd start the music, cause the farmers need the rain. I'm working at the Blissfest, working at the Blissfest, working at the Blissfest, working on down, down, working at the Blissfest, working on down. Take this hammer, give it to the doctor. Take this hammer, give it to the doctor. Take this hammer, give it to the doctor, cause the work's all done. Now we'll have some fun. So now I'm sitting at the Blissfest, I'm sitting in the rain, I'm sitting at the Blissfest, I'm happy as a king. My beer cooler is sitting by my side. Kirby and the doctor, well, they'll take me for a ride. I'm sitting at the Blissfest, happy to the bone. I'm sitting at the Blissfest is my home. Break of dawn, Howard's farm is quiet for a while. Sounds of music die away, laughter fades to smile. Midnight jammers stumble home, crashing here and there. Bodies scattered on the ground, dew upon their hair. Roosters crow, cattle low, bird song greets the day. Morning mist settles low, soon to burn away. Far away coyotes howl, farm dogs bark reply. The kinship of a million years fills the morning sky. A child cries, where's my shoes? I can't find my pants. Another struggles across the field, dragging bags of cans. Stand around the rainbow tent, coffee cup in hand. Talk of yesterday's events, gaze across the land. Who was that girl on open mic? Think we'll get some rain. Glad you made it up this year, hope she sings again. See the people slowly stir, see the people rise. They leave their tents and greet the sun with hands upon their eyes. Soon these folks will be alright, signs of life we'll see. They'll dance around like woodland sprites, so beautiful and free. Painted children running wild all around the farm. Friends and strangers keeping watch, saving them from harm. Wake up, Jenny, wake up, Neil, to the beach we'll go. If we don't move, we won't be back when they start the show. Plunge into the icy lake, wash away the grime. Give your aching head a shake, now it's feeling fine. Take your chair and cool her down. Music starts to play. Sit and think and slowly drink the first beer of the day. Think of bliss that is to be, bliss that's gone before, bliss for all eternity, bliss forevermore. When you're in the porta-potty, do not think someone is snotty if you hear a knock upon the door. Such behavior is customary with facility sanitary to see if there is room for just one more. Maybe you forgot to lock, so do not sit in silent shock if you hear a friendly knock or two. If you do not want a meeting, answer with a hearty greeting. Say, hello, I'm fine, how are you? After very many uses, potties fill with many juices. Sure, it's not a pleasant sight to see. When the potty's filled with muck, comes the man with pumping truck to make them nice and clean for you and me. If while he is freely pumping, suddenly he hears a thumping, then he knows that something's really wrong. Something stuck within the hose, he takes it apart, we hold our nose, and that is why the pumping takes so long. If the song just makes you sicker, if you want the pumping quicker, here's a helpful thing that you can do. Throw all your trash in garbage cans, not in the toilets. Help the man who makes the potties nice for me and you. When you finally leave the chamber, it would help if you remember to close the lid, especially at night. If the lid is closed as stated, toxic fumes are ventilated. That's the way the system works just right. It has come to our attention, certain folks whose names we won't mention do not use facilities at all. They just go wherever they roam. They must think they're still at home instead of where people walk and slip and fall. When the festival is done, they must think that it is fun to clean up all the mess that's left behind. We've got lots of work to do. We don't need any more from you. We ask you please to keep this all in mind. At the information tent is extra paper in the event that we run out the way we did one year. We try to make it nice for you. We hope you try to help us too. We hope you'll have a blissful time while here. The following is a public service announcement from the Blissfest Department of Sanitation. Smokers, watch your butts. Please hear my words and heed. We've got to stick together. We are a dying breed. It really hurts our image. It's bad publicity to drop your butts upon the ground for all the world to see. Don't drop your butts upon the ground for all the world to see. The festival is over, we've ran it to the ground. The stage is dark and silent as we pass the bottles round. But still the people gather in clusters far and near to try to say goodbye to friends they won't see for a year. And if we had the power, we'd hold back the dawn. This night would last forever. We never would go home. Like the loon upon the water with his laughing call so free. Our voices raised in singing would ring out eternally. Now some of us are neighbors and some live close at hand, and some of us are scattered far and wide throughout the land. But every year we gather and I always am amazed. It's possible that you could live a lifetime in 3 days. And if we had the power, we'd hold back the dawn. This night would last forever. We never would go home. Like the loon upon the water with his laughing call so free, our voices raised in singing would ring out eternally. Now just outside of heaven is a place called Fiddler's Green, and there we'll hold a festival the likes you've never seen, where there's open mic for everyone and the sound men never tire, and the people sing till Judgment Day around the old campfire. But we don't have the power to hold back the dawn. The morning comes too early and a year is much too long. We are the true survivors and it's up to us to see if voices raised in singing can ring out eternally. And we don't need the power to hold back the dawn, for bliss goes on forever and you'll never be alone. Wherever 2 or 3 are gathered, that's where bliss shall be, and our voices raised in singing shall ring out eternally. Wherever 2 or 3 are gathered, that's where bliss shall be, and our voices raised in singing shall ring out eternally. God bless us one and all.